doing a little work on Ford 309 fertilizer hopper today. So this is the second one I'm doing. I didn't take a video of my first one, so it takes a little bit of time. So I didn't tape the whole thing, but I'm gonna go through what I did. I've done a couple of these now. Both of them I got out with a little bit of work, but share a few tricks. So you got to imagine this thing is inside of the hopper right here. This bearing's on the outside. Well, actually, hang on, let me start over. You always want to start from the side that the sprocket's on, because once you can move this collar ring on the inside on this side, once you can move it down here, you can pull the whole shaft out, and then you can work on the other side a lot easier when it's not attached to the hopper. So first thing you got to do is remove the 3 bolts on the inside. So mine was pretty much rotted away. This is part of it right here. So there's like a little triangle on the inside of the hopper that goes next to this. This goes up to that piece. So you have to imagine, here's the collar, here's that triangle piece, then you have your hopper, then you have this bracket, and then you have the bearing. Okay, so you take the sprocket off the end, and then you have to get these 3 bolts out. So sometimes on this one I was able to get like 5 out of 6 of them out with a couple sockets, but this last one couldn't do anything with it. There's no way to really get a good swing on something, so I ended up having to grind the outside. So not on this one, but you basically ground the head of the bolt off, and then once it's almost gone, you can just use a brass punch and just pound it through on the other side. Popped right out. So these things usually come off pretty easy. Mine, you had to heat them up a little bit, and I used a brass punch to basically just turn it this way, and then once it started moving, you were able to get it right off this and this. So once you take those off and you get this ring pushed down as far as you need to, and 1 second, because I'm going to show you a trick to that. So imagine we just took the sprocket off, we took that bearing, and then we took that other support piece. And I already moved this down. I have to hold it up. But there. That's basically what you're going to be looking like. You're going to be able to see that that collar ring just basically sitting there. And you can see the collar ring basically right up on there. So these are brass punches. If you don't have any, you should just go to Tractor Supply. They come in like a 3-pack or 4-pack, and they're different shapes, different sizes, and brass is softer than cast iron, so you can really wallop on this thing, and this thing will mushroom, and it won't hurt everything else. So I forgot one thing. What I ended up doing is, inside every one of those collar rings there's a set screw, so you have to be able to drill out that set screw. So you get like a, I don't know, some type of metal blade, and I went and I drilled out the set screw on both sides. Used a whole bunch of penetrating oil, no heat whatsoever. If you work it long enough with one of these things wailing on it, that thing 99% of the time will come through. You can actually take it, my brother-in-law told me you got to start it to use sandpaper all around the edge, because a lot of times there's like a whole crud built up around that. Sand that out first to give the penetrating oil somewhere to go. Soak it for a couple days. But it didn't really take too long to probably took me 5 minutes or so of really wailing on this thing, and it came free. Like I said, you take this one off all the way to the bottom on the side that has the sprocket, and then what you do is you pull the sprocket right out. Once you be able to do that, now the other side is going to be locked up just like that side was. So what I did is I took a 6x6, I drilled a hole to fit this down there, so now I got two hands. Now I could use a torch and heat this one up relatively easily, heat this thing all up, did the same thing, drilled out the set screw, and got that one no problem. So that's definitely a little trick I learned. This machine that I just bought, the back ratcheting clutch is all frozen up, so I'm going to try to do the same thing with that, take the back shaft off and bring it in here so I could just put it in here, have two free hands. It's a little bit easier to torch it and hit it at the right angle, plus I could soak it with penetrating oil then. So that's how you get that out. This one actually had a pretty good shaft, but I have the one that I made already, so I'm just going to pop that sucker in there. There's a little bit of order of operations that I just figured out, because I have one of these that I redid on my first planter. I'll show you that in a second. But you have to basically put in this shaft at the same time as connecting everything. Everything's got to be pretty much built already. You can't you can't go in like steps. There's almost like no order of operations. You have to do everything at once for this assembly. So 1 second, and I'll show you the one I just put together. So this one is all put together, all rebuilt. You can see this is the side with the sprocket. I didn't put the sprocket on it yet because I'm gonna have to loosen up these bolts when I finish up my when I install the fertilizer part. So that's where I kind of screwed up, where you have to, the fertilizer shaft is longer than the inside opening of that, so there's really no way to get it out. You have to put, basically you can install one side, then you got to put the shaft in and install the other side after you put the shaft in. I'm going to do another video on that, but so that's where that goes. On the inside you have your support. Got lucky, found a guy had a brand spanking new one of these things, so mine was a little wore out. I got all stainless steel bolts. You can see the triangle there. Then you have your collar ring that basically just keeps this thing from going left to right. There, nice and smooth. I don't even have any grease in there yet. Nice and smooth, nothing rubbing, so it'll work. Alright, catch you on the next video.